radical Islamic terrorists to enter our country by the thousands. They will allow the great Trojan horse, and I don't want people looking back in 100 years and 200 years and have that story be told about us, because we were led by inept, incompetent, and corrupt people like Barack Obama and like Hillary Clinton. We don't want to be part of that history. And by the way, President Obama should stop campaigning and start working on creating jobs, start working on getting our GDP up, start working on strengthening our borders. The corrupt political establishment is a machine. It has no soul. I knew these false attacks would come. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. We are going to have a policy, America first. They control, incredibly, the Department of Justice. The Attorney General, just prior to making a decision over whether or not to prosecute Hillary Clinton, okay? That's what happened. That's called real life, and that's pretty sad. They met for 39 minutes. Remember, he said, we talked golf, and we talked about our grandchildren. 3 minutes for the grandchildren, 2 minutes for the golf. Then they sat there and they twiddled their thumbs. No, I believe they talked about her remaining in her position under a crooked Hillary Clinton administration. That's what I believe. That's what I believe, folks. That's what I believe, and I think that's what most people in this room believe. Likewise, they have essentially corrupted the director of the FBI to the point at which stories are already saying that the great, and they are truly great, men and women who work for the FBI are embarrassed and ashamed of what he's done to one of our truly great institutions, the FBI itself. Hillary Clinton is guilty of all the things that Director Comey stated at his press conference and congressional hearings, and far more. He stated many things, but it's far more, and he knows that. And yet, after reading all of these items where she's so guilty, he let her off the hook. While other lives, including General Petraeus and many others, have been destroyed for doing far, far less. This is a conspiracy against you, the American people, and we cannot let this happen or continue. This is our moment of reckoning as a society and as a civilization itself. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. Believe me.
and make everyone see something very, very different than what the mainstream media, what the House is putting out there. That is going to be the declassification of FISA. Now, what's very interesting is that Senator Romney, he wrote an op-ed and he attacked the president. Now, he just didn't wake up New Year's Day and say, you know something, I'm going to write an op-ed and it's going to be specifically targeted towards Trump, and it's going to be a character assassination piece against him. This was planned.
Yep.
This attack was done with forethought and specific intent.
Yep.
Why write the op-ed at all? What is the purpose behind writing this op-ed? What does the author have to gain by writing this op-ed? And coming out of the conservative treehouse kind of lays out why this was done. If Senator-elect Mitt Romney wanted to plant his flag and express his political position as an incoming freshman senator from Utah, he could have written an article outlining his views, his position, his point of reference, what he hopes to achieve. Of course, he didn't do that. He specifically went out of his way to level his best attack, a verbal and thought-out assassination based on character against the sitting president of the United States.
Yep.
And he didn't just think about this early this morning. This was pre-planned.
Yep.
Why did Mitt do what he did? To start the incoming congressional year with a broadside assault against the chief executive. Remember, there's an agenda behind all these people. You think Mitt Romney's niece, chairwoman of the RNC, Ronna McDaniel, didn't know her uncle was going to publish a direct attack against the President of the United States? The President of the party she is in charge of? Of course she did. She knew exactly what was going on. Remember, there are trillions at stake here. There are those who are corrupt who have committed treason and other crimes. And it is not just the Democrats. It's also Republicans.
Yep.
These people have one mission: to remove Trump.
Yep.
Why? Because they will be found out.
Yep.
They're panicking. They're afraid. Yep. Trump tweeted out this morning, "Here we go with Mitt Romney, but so fast. Question will be, is he a flake? I hope not. Would much prefer that Mitt focus on border security and so many other things where he can be helpful. I won big, he didn't. He should be happy for all Republicans. Be a team player and win." And Trump is
ready.
Is basically telling him, listen, play along or else.
Yep.
And as we know, Q, Trump, the Patriots, they have all the information on all these people. They know what they've done. These people need to be very, very careful. And this is why they're so afraid, because they have it all. Now, Mueller, he is in trouble right now. He is getting dragged through the mud by veteran Justice Department attorney representing a Russian company indicted by Mueller. Remember, way back, Mueller said Concord was colluding with Trump, named them, and he never expected the Russian company
to fight back,
appear in court.
That was awesome.
And they did. The attorney, Eric Dublier, spent 8 years prosecuting cases as a Justice Department assistant U.S. attorney based out of D.C. before going into private practice for the law firm Reed Smith. Dublier refers to his former employer as the real Justice Department, with the implication being that Mueller and his team of 13 angry Democrats, as President Trump called them, are not. He's representing the Russian restaurant company Concord Management and Consulting, which stands accused of supporting a Russian troll farm known as the Internet Research Agency. Dublier has accused Mueller of violating the confidentiality of Concord's counter evidence, while refusing to provide documents Concord requires to defend itself. So, Concord is accused of an elaborate conspiracy with another Russian operation, the Internet Research Agency. The indictment accuses Concord of providing the troll farm with $1.2 million monthly to defraud the U.S. The two firms set up fake personas and false Twitter accounts, Facebook ads, and other social media posts mostly to disparage Hillary Clinton and support Trump. But we know, if we look at what has really been spent in Facebook, they spent $4,700 on ads, and it was toward Trump and Russia, so already this is fake. So the prosecutor wants to whisper secrets to the judge, says Dublier, who added that Mueller is only considering the short-term political value of conviction and not concerned with the case holding up in appeals court years down the road. The veteran Department of Justice attorney didn't stop there, resurrecting a botch case headed up by Mueller's top prosecutors, Andrew Weissman, as an example of the special counsel team's incompetence. Mr. Weissman headed the Justice Department's Enron task force nearly 2 decades ago. He won a conviction against the accounting firm Arthur Andersen for shredding the defunct energy firm's financial documents. Years later, the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously reversed the conviction. The 2005 decision effectively said that Andersen, by then out of business and its 28,000 employees gone, hadn't committed a crime. So when Mueller indicted Concord as one of the 3 Russian companies and 13 individuals, nobody expected anybody to actually show up to court 5,000 miles away to defend themselves. Concord did, which took Mueller by surprise. The special counsel's first move upon Concord's entrance to the case was to request, guess what? A delay, suggesting that because Concord was not properly served with the complaint, the court should deny their right to an initial appearance. So he accuses them and then wants a delay, saying they weren't properly served, so we should deny their right, which is ridiculous. So Dublier, who defeated the use of fake personas and false Twitter accounts during the 2016 U.S. election, arguing in an October 15th hearing that when it comes to political speech, one is free to pretend to be whomever he or she wants to be and to say whatever he or she wants to say. That's why, in the case, this special counsel made up a crime to fit the facts they have, Dublier said. And that's the fundamental danger with the entire special counsel concept, that they operate outside the parameters of the Department of Justice in a way that is absolutely inconsistent with the consistent behavior of the Department of Justice in these cases for the past 30 years. Now, Judge Friedrich refused to dismiss the case on that premise, but Dublier wasn't done. He turned to the next ongoing battle over Concord's ability to view sensitive evidence that Mueller won't allow into the Russia company's hand due to the owner's ties to Russian President Putin. This equates to the burden of preparing for trial without any ability to discuss the evidence with the client who is to be put on trial. This has never happened before in reported case law because the notion is too ludicrous to contemplate. So Dublier continued and said what Mueller turned over is completely irrelevant, can't use it to mount a defense. He gave us promotional emails for airlines and this naked selfie photograph. And it turns out that this naked selfie photograph that Mueller is saying that he has, well, this might be a picture of Robin Young, who's a Playboy centerfold. And it looks like she went along with these Russians, and it might be a picture of her, which is absolutely meaningless. So Mueller is backed into a corner and trying to figure a way out of this. Remember, Flynn knows everything. Mueller was involved in the uranium one, along with, and I'm not just talking about the uranium one, I'm talking about Benghazi and everything else, with Clinton, Obama, and he's there for a specific purpose, to keep everyone away and back from getting to the real information. But again, Q, Trump, the Patriots, they already have the information. Mueller's time is almost up. Rudy Giuliani was out there saying that Julian Assange should not be prosecuted. And he went on to say that he has done nothing wrong and should not go to jail for disseminating stolen information just as major media does. He said, let's take the Pentagon Papers. The Pentagon Papers were stolen property, weren't they? It was the New York Times and the Washington Post. Nobody went to jail at the New York Times and the Washington Post. So why should Julian Assange?
That's right.
Because he is just like the media. He has media facility. He was putting out information. Every newspaper and station grabbed it and published it. He did nothing wrong. And he's absolutely right. Who's trying to go after him? Oh, that's right. The deep state.
In Hillary Clinton's America, the system stays rigged against Americans. Syrian refugees flood in. Illegal immigrants convicted of committing crimes get to stay, collecting Social Security benefits, skipping the line. Our border open, it's more of the same, but worse. Donald Trump's America is secure. Terrorists and dangerous criminals kept out. The border secure. Our families safe. Change that makes America safe again. Donald Trump for president.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Nobody said it was going to be easy for us, but we will never be stopped. I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created.
Record low unemployment and a record high stock market. The Trump economy is red hot.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
Now Kim Jong-un says President Trump will pay dearly for those words.
Getting a good picture, everybody, so we look nice and handsome and thin.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Sitting down to dinner with Kim Jong-un.
North Korea now committing to complete denuclearization.
I mean, it's truly remarkable what he's doing. He has done more than any president in recent history, certainly in the last half century.
He's not a politician. He's one of us. Never, ever, ever give up.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for the people who care about you. Carry yourself with dignity and pride. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider. Embrace that label, because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation.
3 American hostages are back home.
I am asking all citizens to embrace this renewal of the American spirit. Seize this moment, believe in yourselves, believe in your future, and believe once more in America. I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever